Hey guys, welcome back to the Command Beacon. Today we got a special treat. We're going to be covering a deck tech on one of my personal favorite commanders from the C19 product, Chainer Nightmare Adept. This is not a budget deck, but if you guys are interested in seeing how I would build this on a budget, leave a comment down below. Chainer Nightmare Adept reads, for 2 colorless, black, red, you get a 3/2 legendary creature human minion. You discard a card, you may cast a creature card from your graveyard this turn, activate this ability only once per turn. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste until the end of turn. When I first saw this card, I immediately thought to myself, this is the Reanimator commander I've been waiting for. Now let's get started. Let's fertilize the graveyard by playing cards like Entomb and Buried Alive, allowing us to tutor creatures to reanimate. Buried Alive lets us fetch up to 3 creatures that will help put us in a dominant state. Something like Anger, that even if our commander is not in play, our creatures will always have haste. Doom Necromancer is great when our commander is on the battlefield, allowing us to immediately benefit from his activated ability to bring a spicy creature like Etali, Primal Storm, onto the battlefield. Reanimate and Animate Dead will bring our creatures onto the battlefield with haste if our commander is out. Stitched Together will almost always serve as an Animate Dead since we will be fueling our graveyard. Liliana's Death's Majesty will help dump cards into our graveyard for later use, as well as give us a 2/2 body, and her -3 will reanimate a creature for us. Rise of the Dark Realms is a well-known win condition and even more deadly with Chainer giving all the creatures haste the turn they enter. Whilst Phyrexian Reclamation and Kolaghan's Command do not reanimate, they do allow us to return creatures to our hand in the event Chainer is not in play. Apprentice Necromancer is similar to Doom Necromancer, except you must sacrifice the reanimated creature at the beginning of the next end step, but that doesn't stop us from benefiting. Felden also plays a similar role, allowing us to spam ETBs. Liliana Heretical Healer is a life-linking body that when it transforms, helps disrupt our opponent's hands, reanimates creatures, and gives us an emblem that reanimates creatures at the beginning of the next end step. And what Reanimator deck would be complete without Sheoldred Whispering One, helping us bring back our creatures into play and clearing out our opponent's field so that we can connect. Faithless Looting fuels our graveyard and hand, as well as gives us the option to replay it from the graveyard later. Reforce of Soul is a great draw card in red, but even more beneficial here, and Phyrexian Arena will allow us to draw an additional card each turn in exchange for 1 life. Angie's Ravager, a new card from C19, will give us more reanimation targets as well as draw us 3 new cards each turn. Magus of the Wheel is a repeatable Wheel of Fortune here, and Seasoned Pyromancer will allow us to rummage for 2 cards as well as give us 1/1 elemental tokens for each non-land card we discard. Disciple of Bolas lets us exchange a creature that has outlived its usefulness for card draw and life gain. Neheb allows us to sculpt our hands while providing us 1 red mana for each card we discarded. Graven, another C19 card, gives us a 5/5 beater with evasion that can cash in creatures for more power and card draw at the cost of some life. And Combustible Gearhulk literally has no downside in this deck. If our opponent chooses to take the damage, we can still reanimate creatures from our graveyard. It's what we do. For our reset buttons, we are running Black Sun Zenith, Toxic Deluge, Damnation, Blasphemous Act, Oblivion Stone, and Ugin. Black and Red does have difficulties dealing with enchantments. Ugin and O-Stone are here to help with those situations. Now, this deck does run 2 combos in case the game goes on too long and we're ready to move on to game 2. Kiki Jiki and Zealous Conscript will give us an infinite army of hasty conscripts, and if Kiki Jiki's in the bin, Necrotic Ooze can help pull this off since it has all activated abilities of creatures in the graveyard. In case you don't know how this works, I'll explain it briefly. Tap Kiki Jiki or the Ooze to create a copy of the conscripts. Its ETB will take control of a permanent, untapping it. We choose the Kiki Ooze and repeat until you're content and then swing in. Next, we have the Ashnod's Altar Nim Death Mantle combo. Very similar to the first combo since it will create an infinite army. Simply sacrifice Grave Titan or Wormcoil Engine and one of the tokens they create to Ashnod's Altar. Then, use the 4 colorless mana to return the creature onto the battlefield. Rinse and repeat, netting you 1 extra token per activation, This combo is a little bit more fair than the first one because the tokens do not have haste unless you have something like, let's say, Anger in the graveyard. Cards like Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Intent can help you combo off if you choose to, or simply get you an answer. Imperial Recruiter will fetch you a creature with power 2 or less, which we have plenty of, and Solemn Simulacrum will help fix our mana, as well as draw you a card when it dies. Sidisa can sacrifice itself or another creature to help find answers. And of course, who can forget about Razaketh? Why not reanimate an 8/8 flying trample demon that can fetch us an answer at instant speed? Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Talisman of Indulgence, and Ractal Signet will help ramp us to help play big spells fast. Chromatic Lantern has the additional benefit of fixing our mana. Lightning Greaves will protect our commander, and since we will be discarding land cards at time, to use Chainer's ability, Crucible of World will allow us to play them from the graveyard. Phyrexian Altar gives us another instant speed sack outlet since we don't want our stuff getting exiled. Vedalken Orrery will allow us to reanimate creatures with Chainer on our opponent's turn. Sensei's Top will help us manipulate our top deck, and when paired with Bolas Citadel, it can lead to some explosive turns by letting us tap it to draw the land off the top and pay 1 life to replay it with the Citadel. We don't have access to counter magic, but Dualcaster Mage will allow us to copy our opponent's counter or any other instant or sorcery at flash speed. Since we will be discarding, Archfiend of Ifnir will either wither down our opponent's creature or even wipe them. Noxious Gearhulk gives us a 5/4 menace body with the added benefit of removal and life gain. We enjoy playing our graveyard games, but we don't want our opponents playing theirs. Leyline of the Void will make sure that we are the only ones capable of these shenanigans. Past in Flames will give all of our instants and sorceries flashback, letting us reuse one of our many tools of destruction. And finally, Plaguecrafter, because reanimating him to force our opponents to sack their creature is almost never a bad choice. Well guys, that does it for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed my take on Chainer Nightmare Adept. Now I want to hear from you guys. Are there any other cards I may have missed? If so, let me know in the comments below. While you're scrolling down there, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell icon. Also follow me on Twitter at @command_beacon to stay up to date with all my latest content for you guys. And finally, I want to thank you guys again for your support, and as a way to show my appreciation, I will be doing a giveaway soon. No spoilers at this time, so stay tuned for the details on how to enter. You were watching the Command Beacon. My name's Jory, signing out.